All right. So this particular video that we're about to do right now is specifically focused on keyboard mode. Okay. Keyboard mode is what we're currently focused on. So I have a set of sounds that I've put in here. Now you have kicks, you got snares, hi-hats, things like that, right? But keyboard mode is mainly for the melodic instruments. These are things that do not have drums. Okay. So no snares or anything like that. Mainly let's focus on the actual things that are keys. Okay. So keyboard mode is actually found for you right above pad 14. If you press that, notice all of your colors change to just one color because we're in keyboard mode for that particular sound. So while we're in keyboard mode, right now I have it set, when you first get into keyboard mode, it's set to chrome, which means chromatic. Basically just moving up by note by note by note by note. Okay? That is going into keyboard mode and being chromatic. So here is a good way of seeing it. I'm going to pull up our handy dandy piano that we have in Schoology. So in the resource folder, in this piano, so if we're doing keyboard mode, that's like moving like such. So that is chromatic, okay? That is chromatic. If we go and turn this knob and go to major, now major is different. Major is different. Now when we get into being in major, we can move with the actual key itself. So you're not hitting every single note because that's not a set key. So this is putting it in a set key to where you're hitting specific notes because that's what key you're in. So right now we're in C major. So you got C, D, and we all know that when it comes to C, it's all the white keys. Now I want you guys to see this. This guy and this guy are the same note. They're an octave apart, okay? The octave is when you go from one letter all the way up to the same letter, and you hit everything in between as far as octave goes. That is what you're doing, okay? Now, if you were to go into minor, I'm going to turn this knob again, and basically when it comes to minor, that means you're taking your third key and you're dropping it down a semitone or half step. Okay, so instead of you having to do the major version, instead you're doing the minor version. Okay, that is how that works for you. Now, if you wanted to go into other types of minors, there's harmonic minor that we have, where you flatten the sixth. There is major pentatonic, minor pentatonic. There's a blues scale that you can go into. Japanese, Gypsy, Arabic. There's a bunch of different scales that are on here. And just by turning this second knob, you can get to all of them. The main ones we focus on is major and minor. That's the main ones that we focus on, okay? Mostly minor. All right. Now, while you're in keyboard mode, if you wanted to go up an octave, meaning if you want to go from this C to this C, but you wanted to stay on this particular pad right here, this first one, all you have to do is this, let's say I'm here on this C. Well, if I go and press this octave plus button, which means octave up, I can now have this C right here playing on that first pad. And if I was to go up an octave again, now I happen to have the next C that will be there to play on this pad. So you can go up and down octaves just by using these first two white notes. Now, what does that benefit you? So if you're playing, let's say you're playing a bass instrument, all right? You have a bass that you're playing. You don't want your bass up high. Actually, I got a adrenaline right here. So you don't want your bass up too high. You don't want your bass to be all the way up here. That's not what you want. That's not bass. So what you do is you go octave down, and I would say somewhere around like C2, C3, or whatever key you're in. Make sure this first box is either a 2 or a 3, because then you can really use the bass how it's supposed to be used. Okay, it needs to be a bass instrument. It needs to be able to go through the process of just being low, taking care of all the bottom end of what you have going on. That is what you want. Versus if you were to have some kind of just fun thing to tickle your ear, you could have that chilling all the way up the octave. Okay, let me go ahead and get this pluck going. The pluck is a better option. So you can do those things up the octave, all right? Now, let's talk about changing keys, okay? When you're in keyboard mode, this is where you change keys. So you can go to the semitone down option. So let's say I am in C, and I want to go down to be in B. That's just one semitone down. And it'll show you that information on here, but you hit that semitone down button, boom. Now, I'm in B. So I was in C, now I'm in B, okay? If I want to go down again to B flat, okay, B flat will be right here. And this is made to where it's in the key that you want it to be in, and you can't make any mistakes. Okay, this is for people who don't play traditional instruments. They don't play any piano or anything like that. They just make beats. Or the people who do play, they want to make your life easier. Make sure that have me stop the recording. Okay, cool. If it's going to make life easier for you, then that's what you want. Okay, you want it to make life easy for you if that's what it's going to do. Now, if it's not going to make life easy for you, or if you're just that good and that nice on the piano, then you're good. But for people who have a nice cheat code right here, you cannot play in the wrong key when you're in keyboard mode and you're set directly to minor, or you're set directly to major. It's impossible. Okay? Now, you can still play the wrong notes as far as the chords you want to be a part of, but you cannot play in the wrong key. All right? So that is pretty much keyboard mode. That's how that works. So a quick recap. Normally you're in pad mode and you're living in pad mode. You're in pad mode, right? And then when you want to switch to keyboard mode, all you gotta do is find a melodic instrument, hit keyboard right above 14. Everything changes to one color. And you're able to do whatever you want to do. All right? Glad you guys got this information here. Make sure you do finish the quiz I have on this while it's going, and we shall discuss more in class.